In an industry that thrives on illusions and carefully curated perfection, some truths simply refuse to die. One such truth belongs to Chinese superstar Wang Yibo, an unspoken secret that many tried to suppress, but no one could fully bury. Despite studio statements, PR sweeps, and carefully timed distractions, the whispers surrounding Wang Yibo'S mysterious truth never faded. Instead, they grew louder, transformed into a storm that not even the industry's most powerful figures could contain. A rising star with shadows behind the spotlight, Wang Yibo is no stranger to the limelight. With a glittering resume as an actor, singer, dancer, and professional motorcycle racer, his career has skyrocketed over the past decade. His every move is documented, his every word dissected. But behind the camera flashes and applause, there has always been a question lingering in the background, something his loyal fans could sense, something the media tried and failed to dig up. Rumors of a life-changing decision he made early in his career have long haunted the edges of his fame. Insiders murmured about a contract clause he never agreed with, a controversial alliance with an unknown benefactor, and a sacrifice that came with a heavy emotional cost. But no one could ever confirm it, until now. The Whisper Network that wouldn't die. Back in 2020, when Yibo was riding high off the global success of The Untamed, strange coincidences began piling up. Interviews were cut short, live streams abruptly ended, and colleagues visibly dodged specific questions. A former staff member once let slip in an Instagram live that Yibo was carrying something the world wasn't ready to hear. This sparked a wildfire of speculation. Was it about his personal life? Was he forced into a professional compromise? Did he protect someone at the expense of his own peace? For years, no clear answer came. But the silence itself became suspicious. The more silence the industry enforced around him, the more obsessed fans and netizens became. Fan forums, TikTok accounts, and Reddit threads were dedicated to deciphering coded messages in his songs, choreography, and even his fashion choices. The anonymous drop that shattered the silence. In early 2025, everything changed. A mysterious document surfaced on a hidden server linked to a whistleblower account on X, formerly Twitter. The file, nicknamed the Yibo Chronicle, contained emails, contracts, and personal journal entries allegedly written by Wang Yibo during the early years of his career. While some questioned the authenticity, many documents were confirmed through metadata and matching public events. According to the files, Wang Yibo had been silenced by a non-disclosure agreement tied to a company's scandal involving mismanagement and emotional coercion. He had reportedly threatened to leave the entertainment industry entirely after witnessing mistreatment of younger trainees and unethical contract dealings, but was persuaded to stay after being promised the ability to protect certain individuals in exchange for his silence. Most shocking of all, the documents suggest he anonymously helped a fellow idol escape a destructive contract, someone whose career has since taken a radically different path. Yibo never publicly confirmed or denied the documents, but fans noticed he stopped shying away from emotionally heavy songs and began choosing projects with deeper social themes. His recent role in The Last Oath, where he plays a character who fights a corrupt system while hiding his own trauma, was seen as art imitating life. You can't silence truth forever. The fans take a stand. Once the story broke, fans rallied under the hashtag #YiboNeverSilenced, demanding transparency and justice, not only for Yibo but for every artist who had been gagged by corporate control. The movement transcended his fandom, becoming a broader conversation about the hidden costs of fame in Asia's entertainment industry. Petitions were launched. Interviews with industry veterans began surfacing, echoing similar experiences. Even international celebrities commented on the resilience Yibo showed by continuing to work and inspire despite what he had endured in silence. At a fan meeting in Seoul, Yibo addressed his audience with a rare vulnerability. He didn't speak directly about the leaked files, but left a lingering statement that sent chills across social media. Sometimes truth isn't what you say, it's what you live through. The crowd roared. That moment was etched in fandom history. A legacy no longer controlled. Today, Wang Yibo continues to shine, brighter, fiercer, and freer. The attempts to bury his secret only immortalized it. The industry may have tried to silence him, but in doing so, they unintentionally handed him a legacy bigger than awards and box office numbers. This is no longer a story about a secret. It's a story about courage, about the power of quiet resistance, about a man who chose silence, not because he was weak, but because he was protecting others. But eventually, the truth walked out of the shadows, and it was never silenced again. Continuation: the secret that sparked a revolution. When Wang Yibo'S truth finally pierced the veil of secrecy that the industry had so fiercely maintained, it did more than just vindicate his fans. It became a rallying cry for change. The very foundations of the entertainment world began to shift. Suddenly, more artists stepped forward, emboldened by Yibo'S quiet rebellion. What began as whispers became voices, and what was once a solitary struggle transformed into a collective reckoning. The domino effect: others stepped forward. In the weeks following the leak of the Yibo' chronicle, a string of younger idols and actors, once silenced or sidelined, started sharing their own stories. Not all of them named names, but their stories echoed the same pattern: abusive contracts, manipulated relationships, exploitative managers, and sacrifices made under threat. A former girl group member, who had vanished from the spotlight years ago, publicly thanked an unnamed male artist who risked everything to help her escape a brutal agency. Fans immediately connected the dots. Her cryptic thank you post was liked by Wang Yibo' just hours later. Even seasoned actors began speaking out. Veteran performer Zhang Yu posted, "If someone like Wang Yibo' could carry that weight and still rise, what excuse do the rest of us have to remain silent?" The entertainment industry's glossy facade was cracking, and from the rubble emerged a new generation of truth seekers. Agencies under fire. The production companies and agencies at the center of the scandal issued rapid-fire denials. One studio claimed the leaked documents were heavily edited for sensationalism, while another attempted to downplay their contents as fictional writing and creative embellishment. But the damage had already been done. A government-backed investigation into entertainment contracts was launched, and multiple agencies were quietly summoned for questioning. Contracts that once bound artists in near slavery were being renegotiated. The Ministry of Culture and Tourism initiated reforms around talent protections, citing the growing mental health concerns among rising stars. The shadow Wang Yibo'S story cast was long and irreversible. Behind the silence, a deeper purpose. Though Yibo' remained largely silent through the public storm, those closest to him started offering insight. His longtime choreographer, Xiao Yang, shared in a podcast, "Yibo'S silence wasn't cowardice. It was strategy. He knew when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. Sometimes holding onto the truth is the only weapon you have when everything else is taken from you." It became clear that Yibo' hadn't just endured for himself. He had waited, watched, and calculated the moment when the truth would have the most impact, not just for him, but for everyone trapped in similar cycles. Some believe he even leaked the files himself, using a network of trusted allies to do what he could not legally or publicly execute. Whether or not this is true, one thing became undeniable: Wang Yibo' was never a puppet. He had been a silent architect of resistance, biding his time with quiet defiance until the world was finally ready to listen. A new chapter, from idol to icon. As the dust settled, Yibo' turned his focus to new projects, this time, ones rooted in activism and reform. He launched the Unheard Foundation, a nonprofit aimed at providing legal aid, mental health support, and safe exit strategies for young artists trapped in predatory contracts. His upcoming drama, Paper Walls, is a fictionalized retelling of an artist who risks everything to unveil a corporate web of corruption, a story that now hits very close to home. The teaser, released just weeks ago, ends with a line that sent chills down the spine of anyone following his journey. "You can silence a voice, but you can't silence a soul that remembers." The legacy he didn't ask for, but embraced. Wang Yibo' never wanted to be a martyr or a hero, but his silent endurance, the truth he protected for so long, became a movement. His story now stands as a symbol for every artist who is told to shut up and perform, every trainee who was broken to be built into profit, and every fan who ever sensed something deeper behind their idol's eyes. What Wang Yibo carried in silence has now become a legacy of strength, resilience, and transformation. The secret was never silenced. And because of that, an entire industry began to find its voice again.